Hello, hello, everybody. So, I turned on badges. If you want to raise some money for the orphanage, it's not to support me, it's to support the orphanage. I'm gonna do a small video about food because people ask me, what do you eat and all that, but I already spoke about that in some of my videos. But I'm gonna repeat again simple things. You know, food is a very interesting topic because it's concern you every single day, and it's also there is not something that is established to everyone. We are all different, so we're gonna have different way to be related to food. It depends also, for sure, it's the need of the body to have nutriment, but it's also sometimes connected to emotional issue, and often like that. And also because the first thing we do when we birth, sure we breathe, but also we suck, the breast of our mother. So there are a lot of things involved there, because the way we have been fed when we born can also be influential in our way to eat. It depends. If we had, for example, it comes to my mind, my mother was telling me that she was breastfeeding me like I breastfeed my children as well. And she told me that I was sucking like crazy, and it's true, I love food a lot. And because also she had enough milk, so I was fulfilled. But this didn't last a lot, because after she had to pump her milk, because I was under, how you say in English, oxygen tent, like in for 2 weeks, separated from her, so they had to feed me differently. So I must say that at the beginning of my life, when I'm a young adult, I had not some issue with food, but I was eating like if I will never have food again, because it was associated to the fact I was missing my mother as just baby born in the incubator. I was in an incubator for 2 weeks because I failed to die when I was 3 days old of lungs issues. So I was not breastfed. I was breastfed with her milk, but not with her. So this created a lot of things in my life, in my relationships, to be cut from my mother body for 2 weeks, and also in my way to eat. I never been someone who eated too much, maybe because also I have a good metabolism. So even if I was eating a lot, I was burning these things. So when I was young, I've been pregnant at 16 and a half, 17 years old. At 20, I was mother of 2. And I had, in fact, I was making 5 days a meal when I was pregnant, and I took 28 kilos. I put on 28 kilos. That is a lot. And, it was a lot of by compensation, also because I was young, and also because I needed, this food to feed the baby growing in my body. So I evolved a lot. I learned a lot. When I had my kids at home, I was cooking 3 meals a day for them. And I was cooking like we have in French cuisine, all these elaborate, family food things. And I was cooking a lot. And I was alone with my kids at home, so I had time to cook. And after, when they left the nest, and when I started to travel as model, and I changed my way to eat, but also because I started to be more aware about how my body was functioning in my late 20s, mid-20s. It started mid-20s when I had a big crisis in my body, psychological psychological shock. So I started to be more and more interested how the body is functioning, and I discovered a lot of things. And sure, I related to the food issue. And that was not an issue in a way. It was a process to learn more and more, because it's by the body that we learn. And especially if you are aware about what you put in your body, how this is going to affect your body and even your mood, it's interesting to do some research. It's also interesting to see what are you attracted to. And because the food you are attracted to or you are not attracted to, it's maybe your natural wisdom of your body that knows what is right for you. Because, you know, I see a lot of people following all this new diet, but it's nice to try. I even tried the celery juice thing. I'm not attracted at all. I don't feel especially good when I do it. I don't like it. And for example, you know, I did a test many years ago in Paris about different kind of food, you know, element, and it was 500 different elements. And I discovered with surprise that I had an how you say this, incompatibility. It's not allergy, it's incompatibility with broccoli. And I love broccoli. But I realized that it's true. Every time I eat broccoli, I have like a weight in my stomach and it's cold there. So, but I eat them sometimes, you know, because I love them. But I know that there is this thing. Like it's also the same thing with salmon. And sometimes I love salmon, but sometimes I cannot even, at the idea to have it, I can't. So I don't do it. And it's very simple. For me, it's very simple. What happened also in the mid-80s, I discovered in I was really researching about food, because I started to follow yoga classes, because before I was doing yoga, I didn't know it was yoga. I was doing this stretching by myself, because I remember in the summer, my father had an employee at the restaurant on the beach who was doing this movement, and I did with him. And I didn't know even what it was. And after, when I started to follow yoga classes, I realized that it was yoga. In fact, I did yoga even before that. I did yoga, no, it was in the same time when I was pregnant of my son. I didn't know I was doing yoga. I saw in a magazine some exercise to do while being pregnant, and I did it. And I realized after, when I started to go in classes, that it was yoga. But when I started to be really involved in that and go several times a week, it was Bikram at the beginning, I've been interested in the same time. I had also some experiences, painful experiences in my body. So I learned a lot from the osteopath I was seeing, a naturopath. And I started for sure to be more and more involved in the food story. And I did some experiment. I did macrobiotic for like almost 1 year, totally vegan. And it was not for me, because I started to be, I'm very sensitive. So I started to see the atomic particle, subparticle in the matter, inert matter. And this was not for me. I remember I was in Paris at that time, and I was in the subway seated waiting for the subway, and I was the ondulation of the sidewalk, of the matter on the wall. When I was wake up in the morning, I was seeing the particles that seems of not moving, but I was seeing ondulating, and I was not under drugs, you know. It's just because I became so, in a way, transparent with that food that I was like going to be disincarnated. I was not in incarnation. It's depend of everybody, you know. So I went back to something more various food. But it's true that this also, I was not eating a lot of meat even then, But I was making, you know, this French meal that we have, you know, with bœuf bourguignon and pot-au-feu and all these things where we have some meat, you know, or ossobuco or different kind of thing like that. So after that experience of vegan and macrobiotic, I changed that, and I've been more and more on, I would say, veggies, even if I had veggies before. But at the same time, I discovered the Vitalizer. I'm speaking a lot in my story, presenting a lot about the Vitalizer. I discovered it in 1987, and I use it since then. I'm not paid to do the promotion. When I post about that, it's because it's an amazing tool. It's really a life-changing tool for nutrition. It's fantastic. You can go on their website. I can sponsor you if you give me your email address. I can sponsor you for a discount, but you can go on the website of the Vitalizer. They have in English as well. And you can go and see the specificities of this tool. It has been built with the golden ratio, and like that, it doesn't go above 95 Celsius temperature. So you can clean the toxins, because even vegetables have toxins, but so you can clean the toxins, but you can also keep the vitamins. And it cooks very fast because the holes have been made with the golden ratio. So the way, and the dome also, so the way it's made, it created a kind of quantic field, and it cooks very fast, keeps the colors, keeps the shades of the veggies or everything. You can even cook meat inside if you eat meat, and fish for sure. And the taste is really good. So when I discovered that, I must say that because I had a pressure cooker, and I don't know, something was not sounding right. And when I discovered that Vitalizer, in fact, I discovered it because as I was interested by nutrition, I've been directed by chance, I would say. It's always like the higher self direct us, you know, to something we have to discover and investigate, to the work of Dr. Kusmin. These days I'm posting quite a lot about the creme Budwig, that is one of the bases of Dr. Kusmin. And this you can go online and check as well. And through one of interview or a book of Dr. Kusmin, I discovered a link with Marion Kaplan and the Vitalizer. And this sounds right to me. And I bought two of them, a big one and a small one. I still had my children with me, so it was really great to have both of them. And I still have them both, and I use them both. And this really it has been a big turn in my way to cook and in my way to eat. And since I cannot go back to what I was doing before, sometimes I do, you know, like I cook something like all these typical French, you know, recipe. But I've been to something much more simple. And this really changed my life. And this made me able to be, because it, in a way, as I put attention on nutrition and as I did this experiment with macrobiotic and different things, I could feel what was feeling right for me or not. And when I discovered this steamer, I threw away the other one, and it made me go to something much more simple. Easy, simple. I can do a nice homemade mayonnaise, or I can do, you know, I use almost only olive oil and lemon juice, salt, pepper. I'm sure I have herbs. I use a lot of cilantro, parsley, and different herbs. Here in the farmers market in Malibu, we have a very nice herb supplier. I have fresh thyme, I have fresh rosemary, basil, everything organic. And I must say that I use them even to do my herb tea. I buy less and less herb teas dry in you know, bags or containers. I really enjoy, for example, we have this thyme that is lemon thyme, and it's absolutely delicious. It's a thyme that is softer in taste but has a lemony taste, and it's really a good herb tea. And I'm like, oh, I love it. Like that, or with a little bit of honey, local, it's really delicious. So what is interesting is that with age, I've been toward more and more and more simplicity, and I feel really good. And I think the fact to reconnect with the element, you know, in a natural way, to don't denaturate these vegetables and fish, to really go to this way to cook, bring something at another level than just feeding the body. Because there is a flow that is possible, that is different, because there are not too much thing for the body to process. The toxins has been cleared, because even veggies have toxins. When they've been cut, there is, you know, oxidation and all that. So you clean all that when you use the Vitalizer, because they don't go back on the veggies, on the fish. They slide on this dome that has this special shape. And as your food is clean like that, I have the feeling inside the flow is better in between the cells, because also as you don't process with a lot of cooking or a lot of, I think it's a good alternative in between raw food and a food that is too much cooked. Because sometimes raw food can be difficult to digest, but if you steam like even 3 minutes and they are not raw, they are clean of the toxins, and your body can really assimilate much better. So this is really something very simple. There is no big complicated thing with electric supply and thing to use. And you can have very tasty food very fast, and you can put very good olive oil or another oil if you like, but take organic, and your body has not a lot of work to do to assimilate. Because the body, it's difficult for the body to assimilate food that is denaturated. For example, if you don't know really well, that it's my case, when you combine elements, how this can create a chemical reaction in between these elements, and some can be not very easy for the body to digest. Like this, when you steam like that, you don't have to think about that. You know that your element, the element you're going to put in your body, going to be easily digested. This is very important, especially if you put organic lemon, olive oil and organic lemon. And with Celtic salt, fleur de sel or Celtic salt, you know, from Sel de Guérande from France. I'm not really, I tried the Himalayan salt. I don't see, my body is not happy like the fleur de sel or the Celtic salt, the grey salt, you know, from Guérande, that is really, really good. So this is what I noticed, and I think this is a big part of my way, even aging, of be in good shape. Because when the food is denaturated, it's very difficult for the body to process, and it can create as well an imbalance, an hormonal imbalance. And this can create, you know, trouble of the body. And because people ask me, what do you eat to be so thin? I'm not really thin. When you see me in swimsuit, we don't see my ribs cage. We don't see, I'm not skinny at all. I have a little bit fat here, but stays with me. I think it's really because my body doesn't have a lot of work or doesn't spend a lot of energy to process the food that is denaturated. The food can be denaturated by the way it's cooked, by microwave. Microwave is really, I never had one. Because I felt when I saw this thing inside of me, it was no. And like natural, wisdom, who knows that something is not right there. And when you see what is going on with microwaves in the particle of food, your body has difficulties because it cannot assimilate these particles that has been exploded, denaturated, and it cannot recognize this thing. So you don't get the benefits of the nutriment of the food you put in your body because they have been denaturated. So this is one most very important thing. Like, people who warm the milk of baby in microwave. If you see milk warm with microwave and before and after, it's unbelievable. The particles are exploding in every direction. So, and the worst is when you have people who are putting homeopathic remedy in the milk for baby and put in the microwave. You lose all the benefits. So it's, I think we have to go back in general to simplicity, and especially in food. And I have a lot of followers who bought the Vitalizer. As I told you, I'm not paid for that. I just get some, point each time someone buy one, and I offered, and I'm still offering, Vitalizer to some of my followers or some of my friends or my family. Everybody has one now. And it's like a big chain of, well-being. And I assure you, it makes your life much easier. Another thing about food that is very important for me, because I love food, it's to don't be frustrated. So to don't be frustrated and to eat things that you like. For example, I love chocolate. I make my own. Like this, I know exactly what is inside. And I make my own with really good product. And I realize then when I have my chocolate, I don't need a lot. Because the thing is that often we eat a lot because we don't found, the body doesn't found the nutriment in what we are eating. And it's like an impulse to take more to find the nutriment. It's for that when people say, yeah, but organic food is expensive, you can see with time that you eat less, much less. Because when you have a proper nutriment, your body will not push you in a way unconsciously to have more food. So at the end, it doesn't cost more. And so what I say to people also, and I have a lot of my followers who did it and thanks me for that, don't frustrate yourself. Try to get the best product as possible. And when you do the portion, do half of what you were used to do. Because your stomach, when it's like that, it's big like your, more or less like your wrist, your hand closed. It can expand it for sure. But try to have this in mind and to chew very well. This is very, very, very important. Chewing already makes the food digested in your mouth. So this is going to be easier for your body to get all the nutriment. And it's going to make the transit and all the digestion in your stomach much more easier. So, and also, when you chew a lot like that, you develop something in the mouth with the saliva. And you can feel, try with a simple piece of organic bread, sourdough bread, and chew it to bring it in liquid. And you're going to discover new taste, very delicious taste. And like that, you savor much more your food. And this also is feeding your body differently because you are on the pleasure way of feeding your food. So this is really, really, really nice. When you have this approach to food, plus you bring your attention and your consciousness that food is sacred, and you put this sacred food that has been raised by these farmers, they put their life in that for you to have good food. You are in a gratitude mode and respect mode, the fact you are like that and the fact you respect this food, it's like you bless your food. And when you bless your food, you higher the frequency of the food you put in your body, and this higher your frequency. So it doesn't cost anything. It just costs you to be more present to that process, to do it with more consciousness, to do it like fully, like with mindfulness, to do it. What else to do in that moment? You know, you watch, I was watching yesterday this beautiful oak leaf salad that is green and red. And I was wondering how this is possible to grow like that, how it's possible to create such a beauty. And I was just grateful for that. And I was washing using water. Water is a very important element. It's an entity. And when you put your intention and you wash your fruits and your vegetable and you are connected to the entity, water entity, you bless your food and you elevate your frequency. So it's all about that. It's really, it's very subtle. It's invisible, like the bigger part of ourselves that is invisible. So it connects us to this invisible, amazing, magical dimension that we are. And we are part of that nature. And we are under nature law. And this flows and make your body at peace. So you see, food is not only you have to eat that or that or that, or you don't have to eat that. Some people say, why you eat eggs? Because I like them. And I don't feel guilty when I eat one egg. And they come from my friend. I know the chicken. And I go and I get my eggs there. I'm lucky to have that. And I'm thankful to have that. And why not? And with eggs I can make nice things. But sometimes I don't eat eggs for days because my body don't even think about it. It's the same for meat. It's very, very rare. But when I eat it, I have absolutely no guilt. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the animal who give their life for that. And maybe it seems crazy for vegan. I've been vegan too. I was very extreme and intolerant. And I changed because I realized this was not making sense to me. And I became more tolerant regarding other people's way to eat. And I became softer in my way to be with people. And I think I became wiser too. So I have also friends who were vegan who has been obliged to change their diet because they were in serious trouble condition. Because it's not for everybody. It's for that. You cannot apply a rule of a diet like that blindly. You really have to be in touch with you and go to basic. Basics, it's as much as possible natural, simple food, not processed. Not buying things that are already cooked and frozen and you're going to microwave. This doesn't give you anything. And your body going to ask more food because it will not find the nutriment. But when you go to basic and you give natural food that you process yourself with very few transformation, and you savor that, you eat that with consciousness, you cook with consciousness, you will see. It's like miraculous. And it's for that. And this doesn't cost. It doesn't cost money to do that. So, you have really to take time, and it doesn't cost more time even. You see my stories about food. It's very fast, very simply done, and it's very delicious. And beauty is important. So try to create something beautiful. Add some herbs or some color in your food and make something. Take a beautiful plate that you like. Offer you a beautiful ceramic and made plate that you like, and you're going to cherish it. And I made ceramics for years And recently I bought ceramic to my friend Victoria because I'm in love with her ceramic and I enjoy them every day. And when you have these ceramic pieces that are like precious, because if you break it, you don't have it anymore. So even when you wash them, because I hand wash my dishes, I don't have dishwasher and I'm alone, so single, so maybe it's easier, but I love to wash my dishes. And when I wash them, I take care because they are precious. So I learn also to be more careful. Because I was someone, very, I do things like that when I was young. Everything has to be done fast, fast, fast. Now, I take care of my dishes because I don't want to break them. So it obliged me to slow down. So offer you a beautiful ceramic dish that you have pleasure to put your food in and wash it with respect. And this is going to be part of your ritual, like a cup also the same. And this is part of the whole thing, because you know that you're going to take this beautiful plate or bowl and you're going to create something beautiful. And even already taking the plate or the bowl, you already feed yourself. You feed your soul by beauty and the texture and the colors. And this is very important, because the soul, to feed the soul, it's through the body, because this is the manifestation, the manifestation in the physical realm of the soul. When you bring this beauty in your little daily ritual, you feed your soul. It's pleasurable and you are not frustrated. So it's for that. Don't frustrate yourself. Use good ingredient, natural ingredient. Make it beautiful. Appreciate. Be grateful. Bless your food with very simple thought. You don't need to know a prayer. I don't know any of them, but I have my own. And you will see it's something of every single day. And also when you are, you put your awareness that you are blessed to have food, because some people don't have food. Even here in LA, some people don't have food in this country. It is supposed to be the most advanced country. So you see, it's very, very important. It's a whole thing. It's not only about how many things you eat and how many times you eat a day. These days I change. Some days ago I felt I want to do this creme Budwig the morning, and I have that around 11. It's my first meal, I can say. And I have that, and end of afternoon I have another meal. And sometimes I have 3 meals a day, but it's rare, tiny ones. Or sometimes I have only one. And I just follow what I feel. I don't have a ritual like every day I'm going to eat at this time and I'm going to have that, and after I'm going to cook that. And I never know. I just follow what comes to me in the moment. And I must say that these days, doing this, so the creme Budwig, I change the ingredient, but it's so delicious. And I can stay like 3-4 hours without 4, even 5 hours. I'm not hungry at all. But the ingredients I put in are very good. They are fresh, they are organic, they are, very, very potent. So I guess, and I'm not allergic to nuts. So people maybe have allergy with nuts. You have to know yourself. Me, I'm not. So I do this with, often it's a banana. The banana, I don't use it immediately. When I do my herb tea the early morning when I wake up, I smash the banana and I let it oxidating. And after, when I had my tea, I did my yoga. After I do the creme Budwig, and I use the banana that has been oxidated, and I mixed with all the ingredients that are in my story today, so you can see about that. And you can change. You can have different kind of nuts. You can have almonds. You can have anything you like, you know, as much as they are as fresh as possible, as clean as possible. And I never use if I can have walnuts in the shell or nuts in the shell, I prefer to break myself. But I never use the nuts out of the package and I put in my blender immediately. I always wash them. I always wash the nuts, wash the dates. I wash everything. The lemon, I really scrub the skin with a brush. I use the whole lemon, and I put all this. But I always clean the nuts because when they are in package, they can develop some little mushrooms, you know, fungus or bacteria. So, and like that, I do my blessing ritual with the water. So this is my way to be with food. And it's working well. And it's very, very pleasant in my body. Really, it's like such a wonderful feeling of lightness and of fulfillment because I don't frustrate myself. I eat anything I like. But as I told you, as the ingredients are good, my body doesn't need more proportion. I need simple things, you know. So voila, this is what I wanted to tell you about that. I'm going to see if I have some question. I'm going to see. And I'm going to try to do this in French. For the poor French that always tell me, why you don't do it in French? Because there are much more people speaking English around the world. So it's for that. I'm mostly speaking in English. I see that some people took some badges for the orphanage. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's really, really kind of you. And also I saw someone said about the scarf I'm wearing. I think I saw that. This is something special. It's Precious Mistake Baby. It's a small version of Precious Mistake. I have just 3 of these in this color. And this is a Precious Mistake Baby. The other shade went. I had people request, so I sold them before showing them. But this is the one, and it's so soft and beautiful. So thank you very much. And I'm going to think to my French friends now.